Well, rents have fallen or flattened in some areas. It says here, asking rents flattened in April as landlords face rising vacancies. Where have we heard that? Guys, we're gonna talk about this. This is something that a lot of my subscribers and viewers have been asking for, a rent update of exactly what's happening with rents, and we got the update, guys. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. In the description, I have a real estate investing course for beginners and a YouTube course, but let's jump into this, guys. This is crazy. I have been telling everyone, hey, make sure you look at your local market for rents, right? I've been telling people to sit on the sidelines with a purpose, due diligence, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is a super important thing. If you've been watching this channel, you have been known that I've been covering what's going on in commercial real estate, what's going on with landlords, what's happening with the market when it comes to rent. If you are a landlord like myself, if you own properties like myself, you understand that tenants now have a choice of deciding to move in with their parents, move in with other people, or going to find other properties because there is a slew of properties coming on the market, guys. Because inventory is being pushed and pushed and pushed when it comes to apartment complexes. And this is no different. If you introduce more inventory into the rental market, then more people will have more choices. And then also, not only will they have more choices, but they can also have choices of lower rents. Yeah, boy. And that is what we're seeing in the rental market. And I was telling people, look, if your landlord is trying to double up on rent on you, and the landlord believes that,
oh, I can charge you $500 more on rent or double your rent from a year ago,
thinking that he can raise it. Oh no, you will have many choices and you can leave and get better rent. And how do I know this? It's because I'm getting emails from viewers and subscribers telling me that they're getting a better deal on rent, even if they would have had purchased a home back then, a year or two ago. A rise in new rentals are hitting the market, coincided with a slowdown in tenant demand, causing rent growth to cool for the 11th straight month. The Sun Belt saw the biggest decline, allowing some renters to sign leases at more affordable rates than a year ago. Now, what does that mean? Remember, we talked about the Sun Belt, guys. The Sun Belt is an area where individuals, obviously just by the name Sun Belt, the sun is shining, the weather is great. Individuals want to live there because of the weather. More people go to these areas and want to live for the weather. And if more people are going to an area, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that rent and prices of things will go up higher and higher because it's an area of demand. It's an area where people want to live. More businesses, more things to do, more restaurants. All of those things will go up, up, and up. That's where we've seen BlackRock and all these other companies, Zillow, go in and buy tons and tons of rentals.
Top right here. Market right here, right now.
They've lost on those rentals, but this is where they were buying the rentals because they saw people were moving there. Let's take a look at this chart, guys. The median for U.S. asking rent rose 0.3% year over year to $1,967 in April. That's the 11th consecutive month of slowing growth. Slowing growth, guys. This compares with a revised increase of 1.4% month, 1 month earlier, a 16% increase 1 year earlier. We could see we had this 17.5, 16% increase, and this was what, in April 2022? And then we could see it just plummeting, going down, 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 and down. And I know what a lot of people say, well, in my area, I don't see it.
Mild shock.
I know I'm gonna see that in the comment. What area are you talking about, Orlando? Rents have, I can see it right now. I can, guys, this is national data showing you guys exactly what's happening, and rents across the board are slowing down. That's just the data. It truly is happening. It truly is happening. And here's the thing, guys. You have to make sure you look in your local area. You cannot, I say it, I'm gonna keep saying this. You cannot look at one area, look at Austin and look at Miami, you can't do that. You can't jump all around the United States and then say, why isn't this happening in my area? Somewhere in California or somewhere in Seattle, why isn't this happening? look at your market.
Power is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location.
And you cannot get mad if you have not been currently looking at your market. If you're trying to get better rent, if you're trying to buy a home, if you're not doing the research, you cannot blame anyone but yourself.
You're goddamn right.
Now let's take a look at the median asking rent. We could see that at the peak it was $2,000. Now remember, this is national. Median US asking rent. You can see it's going down, went up a little bit, and now it's still going in that downward trend. On a month-over-month basis, the median asking rent fell 0.2% like we talked about earlier. Guys, look at the jump from February 21st all the way up until April 22. Look at that. It just climbed. People have to be happy that rent is dropping. And this is what I'm saying when you have to use this as leverage when you're talking to these landlords. Vacancies, guys, are going up super high. The more inventory that's coming on the market with apartments, right? With apartments, you're gonna see it drop. And then not only top of that, there's a lot of these apartments that are getting stalled because the cost of construction is so high.
Well, that's a business expense, isn't it?
A lot of these times, these apartments that individuals are doing, they have to price them at a very high rate. So let's say this median was $2,000. Maybe the new apartment has to start at $3,000. You can work your way in leveraging that and saying, look, this XYZ, and to getting a better place. If there's more vacancies on the market, it allows you to find better prices. Rents fell across the Sun Belt in April. In Austin, Texas, the median asking price fell 14.3% year-over-year in April. That's the largest decrease amongst the major U.S. metropolitan areas. Let's take a look at these decreases in rent. Austin, number 1, 14.3%. Phoenix, 9.6%. Las Vegas, 7.1%. Oklahoma, 6.4%. Chicago, 6%. Birmingham. And then it goes on Sacramento, Memphis, Seattle, Texas, guys. The Sun Belt exploded in popularity during the pandemic as scores of remote workers moved to the area and searched for relatively affordable housing and warm weather. Rents surged and are now coming back down to earth as supply catches up to demand. Much of the nation's home builders in recent years have taken place in the Sun Belt, Phoenix, Austin area, and both rank in the top 5 metro areas with the highest number of multifamily buildings permits in March. What did I say, guys? When you have so much construction going on multifamily, it's bound to catch up. Guys, use the leverage of all these vacancies and all these landlords. There's a lot of landlords that are on the verge of losing their apartments because of the vacancies. They can only, guys, listen to this. They have to charge high rents because they bought high. They bought at a certain amount. Their property taxes are high. The mortgage is high. Insurance is high, and so they have to charge a certain amount, which prices are now going below that. So they are stuck charging rent at this level where rents are now below that. So they're losing, and on top of that, looks like a bunch of bankruptcies are about to happen with these landlords. Once again, I did a video on this on commercial real estate, letting you know if you're an investor, a bunch of deals are about to come up. A lot of renters took on roommates or moved in with family where rents increased dramatically during the pandemic, which left more rentals and fewer renters needing places. Guys, this information is right in front of you guys. This is the reason why this channel is so important. Because if you have been watching this, I talked about this 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago when I said, guys, listen, this stuff is going to come down the pipe and it's going to eventually materialize into a situation like this. Now, I want to tell you guys, I know a lot of you guys are watching this channel and you're thinking to yourself,
Lando, but if I would have bought that house, a year ago, I wouldn't be spending money on rent.
and I would say, yeah, I guess that's technically true, but you will also have bought an overpriced home that you spent hundreds, maybe $50, $60, $30, $20,000 over asking, and maybe you're now underwater. Maybe you're now paying more than you thought you were. I want to share with you a short story that I found online of someone talking about regretting to buy a house. This was posted 2 days ago, guys. And I found this on Reddit. It says, I bought at the peak of the market, June 2022. By that time, I had already made dozens of offers. Lost bids, had a couple of months before my lease was up. He was renting. I was desperate and start looking at areas outside of my preferred areas. Sounds like FOMO.
No mo, FOMO, dog.
Sounds like he wanted to go into the eBay bidding wars, right? Just to win. I bought a house at $700,000 and needed a bunch of renovations. Having been living in a construction zone ever since I moved in, by the time I was done, I would have put in over $100,000 into it. What? $100,000. So he bought an overpriced home and then still would have to put in $100,000. I hate the neighborhood and I'm super remorseful and super angry at myself. I wake up every day asking myself why I bought this stupid house. I have so much resentment. It hasn't even been a year yet and I can't wait to sell this house. Has anyone been in this situation? What is the best way to get out of this without ruining myself financially? How can I feel better about the decision? It is sucking every joy in my life. Guys, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the type of material that I'm saying that individuals need to understand and think to themselves. Do you want to end up in this situation? This gentleman or woman bought a home and is now super regretting it. Whereas if he would have decided to continue renting, he wouldn't have been spending $100,000 or would have put in $100,000, would have spent $700,000 on an overpriced home, putting him in a situation where he now hates it. More than likely, this guy is going to be underwater, lose that money that he put into the house as his down payment and any money that he put into rehabbing the property. What would make someone want to buy a home that they quote unquote didn't want, buy in a neighborhood that he didn't want, and now is super remorseful? Didn't he have all the answers of what he wanted previously before he bought the home? Yes, he did. But FOMO and the fear of missing out, the fear of, man, not being able to buy a home and,
oh man, I'm gonna rent and I'm throwing this money into a hole.
that's what everyone is saying about renting. You're taking money and throwing it in a hole. Not really. You're giving money to someone else to live. You're not giving money away for free. You're giving money to a landlord or to someone to rent an apartment so that you and your family can have a place to live for temporary reasons. I'm not a big component of renting for life. I'm not saying that that's what you have to do. What I'm saying is rent so you don't end up in a situation like this. But as always, guys, I hope you got value from this video. I want you to look at your local area. Make sure that you understand the pros and cons to renting, to buying, to selling your home, all of those things. But you won't get all that information from this one video. Make sure you check out this video here. I promise you, it will give you all the information you need. Housing market, financial news, get into your first rental property. The information you will get from that video will be gold, guys. Make sure you watch it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.